Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Ki jai.
Ki jai.
Thank you, Anasuya Mataji, very much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Belated happy Dashera. Yesterday I was not, I couldn't able to attend the session. So today we welcome His Grace Gaurchand Gopinath Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Over to you, Prabhu. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Sunita Mataji, Suma Mataji, Sudha Mataji, Shobha Mataji, Shanti Mataji, Hare Krishna. Shanti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Pranam.
Chandrika, Archana, Hare Krishna. Anushya Mataji, thank you so much for wonderful Kirtan.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Why the strength is less today? Because of holiday.
Yeah, maybe Prabhu.
Okay. Archana Mataji, Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamagyam Tadati Swapatantrikam Vandegam Shri Guru Shri Uda Patakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadodam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Anvitam Cha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhashyate Shadarine Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpataru Vaishya Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Deenadarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. I need volunteers to read the shlokas. Today we'll be seeing 3 shlokas, 3, 9, 12, 13 and 14. Yes, Anushya Mataji, you can read the shlokas.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dhanwad Prabhuji. नति प्रसादी नति तथोपचितोपचारे आराधिता सुरगणैर्हृदि बद्धकामैः यत्सर्वभूतादया या सादलाभ्ययैको नानाजनेष्वाहिताः सुहृद् अन्तरात्मा.
Prashanti Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Translation by Prabhupada ki Jai. My Lord, you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods who arrange for your worship very pompously with various paraphernalia, but who are full of material hankerings. You are situated in everyone's heart as the super soul just to show your causeless mercy, and you are the eternal well-wisher, but you are unavailable for the non-devotee. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Shobha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Purport, I need to read the purport, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. My Lord, Hare Krishna, 1 minute, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
This is shloka number 3.9.12, right?
Yeah.
The purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The demigods in the celestial heavenly planets who are appointed administrators of the material affairs are also devotees of the Lord. But at the same time, they have desires for material opulence and sense gratification. The Lord is so kind that He awards them all sorts of material happiness more than they can desire. But He is not satisfied with them because they are not pure devotees. The Lord does not want any one of His innumerable sons, the living entities, to remain in the material world of threefold miseries, to perpetually suffer the material pangs of birth, death, old age, and disease. The demigods in the heavenly planets and many devotees on this planet also want to remain in the material world as devotees of the Lord and take advantage of material happiness. They do so at a risk of falling down to the lower status of existence, and this makes the Lord dissatisfied with them. Pure devotees are not desirous of any material enjoyment, nor are they averse to it. They completely dovetail their desires with the desires of the Lord and perform nothing on their personal account. Arjuna is a good example. On his own sentiment, due to family affection, Arjuna did not want to fight. But finally, after hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he agrees to fight in the interests of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord is very much satisfied with pure devotees because they do not act for sense gratification but only in terms of the Lord's desire. As Paramatma or Super Soul, he is situated in everyone's heart, always giving everyone the chance of good consort. Thus, everyone should take the opportunity and render transcendental loving service to him wholly and solely. The non devotees, however, are neither like the demigods nor like the pure devotees, but are averse to the transcendental relationship with the Lord. They have revolted against the Lord and must perpetually undergo the reactions of their own activities. Bhagavad Gita 4.11 states, Ye yaya yatha mam prapadyante tasmat tathaiva vadhamyaham. Although the Lord is equally kind to every living being, the living beings for their own part are able to please the Lord to either a greater or lesser extent. The demigods are called Sakama devotees or devotees with material desires in mind, while the pure devotees are called Nishkama devotees because they have no desires for their personal interests. The Sakama devotees are self interested because they do not think of others and therefore they are not able to satisfy the Lord perfectly. Whereas the pure devotees take the missionary responsibilities of turning non devotees into devotees, as they are therefore able to satisfy the Lord more than the demigods. The Lord is unmindful of the non devotees although he is sitting within everyone's heart as well-wisher and super soul. However, he also gives them the chance to receive the mercy through his pure devotees who are engaged in missionary activities. Sometimes the Lord Himself descends for missionary activities as did in the form of Lord Chaitanya, but mostly He sends His bona fide representatives, and thus He shows His costless mercy towards the non devotees. The Lord is so satisfied with His pure devotees that He wants to give them the credit for missionary success. Although He could do the work personally. This is the sign of his satisfaction with his pure Nishkama devotees compared to the Sakama devotees. By such transcendental activities, the Lord simultaneously becomes free from the charge of partiality and exhibits his pleasure with the devotees. Now, a question arises: if the Lord is sitting in the hearts of non devotees, why are they not moved to become devotees? It may be answered that the stubborn non devotees are like the barren land and alkaline field, where no agricultural activities can be successful. As part and parcel of the law, every individual living entity has a minute quantity of independence, and by misuse of this minute independence, the non-devotees commit offense after offense to both the Lord and his pure devotees engaged in missionary work. As a result of such acts, they become a barren as a alkaline field where there is no strength to produce. Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam Prabhuji, Hari Bol Mataji, thank you.
Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva naratim devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudire. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevayam bhagavate uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naistaki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namah. Hare Krishna. So today the topic is that Brahma's prayers for creative energy. In this section, especially 11 to 13 or something like that, 14, this 12 to 14, Lord reciprocation with various devotees. There are different kind of devotees are available. One is demigod, another one is a pure devotee, another one is a non-devotee. So how does the Lord would reciprocate? And also time and again Srila Prabhupada concludes the devotees are supreme. That's the theme coming out on text number 12, 13, 14. So we will stick to the same topic and we will see what are the different reciprocations the Lord does with the devotees and what are their position, how the devotees are always supreme. So that's what we're trying to conclude today. So while reading, I have tried to highlight it. So there are three types of people. Who are they? One is the demigods who worship the Lord with various paraphernalia, with the grand things. They would worship the Lord. However, they also want fulfill their material hankering, sense gratification. They don't want to give up their sense gratification. Then the second category is non-devotees. Here is telling, even though you are Paramatma available, situated in everyone's heart, but is not available. And also the third category is like a pure devotee. So it is implied here in the translation, but in the purport, Prabhupada explains in the detail how they are pure devotees, not hankering for material things. So that's why always I would say that this translation and shloka are head on the cloud, which gives a sense of what is it we need to learn. But unless Prabhupada purport is there, it's very, very difficult to understand. Many a times when I distribute books, Prabhu say, I have only shlokas, translation, is it sufficient? No, it is not sufficient. Because these Prabhupada purports are his ecstasy, and we understand clearly from this how Prabhupada categorizes them into various categories, and he calls out what are the pure devotees, how the Lord reciprocates, and things like that. So it's amazing to read Srila Prabhupada purport. So the first paragraph, he dedicates to the demigod. The second paragraph, the opposite, who are the pure devotees. It is dedicated to them. The third paragraph, it talks about the non-devotees. Then in the summary, Prabhupada is talking again the advantages, disadvantages. Also, Prabhupada is talking about how he is partial or not. The Lord is partial or not. So because the question was raised in the translation that you are situated in everyone's heart, you should be equal to everyone, whether it is a devotee or non-devotee. Lord is supposed to be equal, and you are the Sugrud, means you are the eternal well-wisher of all the living entities, not only for devotees. Sugrud is Sugrudam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatva Mam Shantim Rachati. You are the well-wisher of everyone, but you are non-devotees, you don't take care. They eternally, perpetually suffer in the hellish condition of life. So somebody might question, okay, tell me why Lord is partial. So Prabhupada picked up that point in the translation and trying to explain Yeyatamam Prapatyante. He gives a reference why Krishna is partial. Also, he is not partial. Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. Lord is not partial. If I prove that Lord is partial, then I have a problem. If Lord is not partial, that also I have a problem, because we see from activities that Krishna is always favoring the devotees. Then why is he favoring the devotees? And he must be partial. Eternal question. So Lord is partial or impartial? Who can tell?
Impartial, Prabhuji.
Impartial.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Impartial. Then why we have to
Impartial,
become,
Prabhuji.
then why should we become devotees? I can be also non-devotee, enjoy material things, and Krishna is impartial anyhow. Why are you
Krishna
struggling
says-
so much to chant? Why are you hearing Shrimad Bhagavatam today?
Krishna
Lord
says
is
in
partial,
7th
no?
chapter, Prabhuji. He says in
Huh?
7th chapter,
Partial,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
What?
Etamam prapadyante. Partial.
No, Prabhuji, we have to, and once we are out of the ignorance, we know that he is our father and well-wisher. We love him so much, Prabhuji.
Temple, yes or no
That is why
question.
we become.
Krishna is partial or not?
Not
No,
partial.
Prabhuji, not
No,
partial.
Prabhuji.
Not partial. Then why are
It is
you
out of
practicing
love we
devotional
are
service?
devotees.
Why
Prabhuji,
then?
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna,
then you are
Prabhuji.
telling there is no difference between devotees and non-devotees, because he is not partial. Anything you can do, everything you can do, you can break everything. Why you have to follow four regulative principle? Yes, Srimad Bhagavatam and chant. He is not partial, no?
Prabhuji, his relationships with devotees, he is not. It has to be considered on the transcendental platform. It is not on karmic. It is not bound to karma, Prabhuji. It is a transcendental platform.
That's okay. He is partial or not?
He is not partial, Prabhuji.
He is not partial.
He says, na Prabhuji, samah sarva bhutejas, name dveshosti na priyaha.
And also he says that my devotees are never vanquished. Boldly declare Arjuna.
Yeah,
I
name
give
bhakta
special
pranachanti.
mercy to the. I will give special mercy to my devotees. He also says that, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But the
Hmm.
same way he's looking after even the non-devotees also, Prabhuji. He's providing everything.
Correct. So
Though our-
you
though they
either
are
answer. You can't say both. You have to say either one, right? He is partial or impartial?
impartial, Prabhuji. Impartial.
He is partial to the devotees. Okay. So this question can come. You can't understand unless you read Prabhupada last two paragraphs. So that's what we're
Prabhuji,
trying
it is
to.
like God is holding two chocolates and he's asking his kids to run. One is non-devotee and one is not a devotee. Devotee runs fast and takes the chocolate, Prabhuji. It's like that. The other one stays there only, looking at the father. Hare
Okay.
Krishna. It is like a
Okay.
chocolate devotional service.
Okay. See, this is why this Achintya Veda Veda Tattva comes. Is partial, simultaneously not partial also. We will see with some more examples. And of course, Prabhupada has given already is purport, transcendental purport. So that's the reason. See how systematically Prabhupada writes paragraph by paragraph, understands what is the importance of the shloka, what required needs to be talked about. Here explicitly doesn't talk about pure devotees. It talks about the demigod as well as the non-devotees. So Prabhupada gives his purport in completeness, saying that how pure devotees Lord is partial and why is also simultaneously impartial. So he explains that wonderfully in purport. So let's see, dwell into the first paragraph. Lord is not satisfied with demigods because they have need of material opulence as well as those sense gratification. They don't want to give up their sense gratification, but still they want to perform bhakti, devotional service. Akama sarva kamova moksha kama utarat. So even you have a material desire, without material desire, Even you aspire for liberation without that pure devotee, everybody can worship Krishna. So the beautiful of Krishna is that better, instead of going to worship demigods, better to worship Krishna, even though you have Kamava, Sarva Kamava, Moksharam, Mudarati. So in that Krishna says Tivra Bhakti Yogena. So Krishna says that it's better you worship irrespective of whatever level you are here. But here Brahma talks about the one type of devotees who are demigods, always they worship their Lord. They knew the position of the Lord. The same Lord comes and asks for the Parijata tree. What did Indra do? Same Indra went to the ocean and said, protect from my demonic demand. So Lord takes avatar, he kills them. But the same Lord comes and asks for the Parijata. What did you do? You start fighting with Krishna because you are taking out my favorite tree, it's favorite to my wife. And she will ask, what should I tell? Indra started fighting with Krishna. This is what the position of the Devatas, not all of them, most of them, but some of them are pure Vaishnavas. So we can't categorize demigod means, okay, all of them are like that, but there are pure Vaishnavas as well. But in general, the explanation given in the Shastras, it is bewildering. In fact, Prabhupada said that most of the devotees, there are chances that you will likely land up in Swargaloka than the Goloka Vrindavan. Because, such unresistible opulences you have in, if I start describing, you might better think that not going to Goloka and going to go Swargaloka. If I start explaining the glories of Swargaloka, because everybody's, when they're going back to God, they will be shown to different places. They'll take you to the Swargaloka, then Brahmaloka, Indraloka, then you pierce through the 7 material coverings. And there are also various devatas, including Mother Earth, and ever worships Varahadev in the earth factor, fire. There is a devata who is in charge, who worships. Some people worship Narsinghadev. So there are different planetary system and the 7 layers of the earth. You have to pierce through that, then you have to go to Braja River, then Brahmajyoti, then you would see beautiful Kailash, then you go into the Vaikuntha planets. Then there are so many Vaikuntha planets you need to cross, then you have to go to Ramaloka, and you have to pierce through Ramaloka, then you will taken to the Goloka Vrindavan. So by the time you go, you might change your heart, and Krishna doesn't stop. You can change your heart and you can get on wherever you want. The options are available. But unless the Vaishnavas, pure devotees, they knew exactly what they want to do, where they want to go, they will not even be bewildered. So we might say, theoretically, we might speak, I don't want to go to Swargaloka and all. But as soon as you see, you will be tempted. It's like somebody's seeing a gulab jamun or samosa or any other thing which they are attracted to. They say, no, I am controlled, but still, this is important. Actually, one is more old is
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, your voice is
Your
breaking.
voice is breaking, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is it better now? Is it better now?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
One second. So the description of Swargaloka is given like that when the Swargaloka Vasis literally see only the 4 issues common across everywhere in the world. Only 4 problems are there: birth, death, old age, disease. This is the only what is a problem which nobody can avoid, and they have to go through irrespective of you are having money or human, non-human, you are in Pataloka or Swargaloka, irrespective of anything, your name, fame, designation, caste, creed, male, female, old age, educated, uneducated, everybody's living entity. You are you are a tree, or you are a human being, non-human being, whatever category. There are only 4 problems in the world. Rest are all relative. Somebody's problem, somebody's food. If doctor has to go and pray to the Lord, please give my bread, means you give me more patience. And we don't want to become a patient, right? So somebody's food is somebody's problem. right? That's how it opens. So that's how it works, nature. So we might say that it's a relative. The real problem is birth, death, old age, disease, which nobody can avoid. And it is the real problem, common to all. This is the definition of problem, is common to all and nobody can avoid. So this category, 4 categories, you can apply to anybody, Tom and Dick and Harry. If you're born in Karnataka or Delhi, or you're born in different America or US, you are speaking English, non-speaking English, you are a woman, non-woman, you are a different type of now there are so many LGBTQ, there are so many variation has come irrespective of whatever gender you are. The 4 problems you can avoid. But what happens is when you go to Swargaloka, literally, birth, of course, they have to go through birth and death. There is no exception to it. And last time I was asking the question, if they have this amrita, which they drink, and they're immortal, then how can you say that they are going to die? So relatively, the time is so long that we say they are immortal, but they have to invariably has to take birth and die. But this drinking by this nectar, the life is prolonged, and but invariably they have to undergo the death. But it is so prolonged, so long that we can't imagine. And we just say, yeah, they are eternal. There is a one day, like there is one insect which comes during the rainy season, and it takes birth within 24 hours. It get married, it byproducts, and it dies, bundles and dies. All the thing happens in one day. But when we look at that, we'll say, oh, poor creature, it is just 2 hours, it was flying and it died. But it is, imagine it, it thinks that, oh, these human beings live for 30 days in a month and 365 days a year, and they live for 100 years. Imagine that will be, can't imagine, that insect cannot imagine a living being who's living for so long. Similarly, when we think about Brahma, we can't imagine how long he lives for. Similarly, the demigods, by drinking nectar, they prolong. But birth and death is something which they can't avoid. But it is not like our Indians, it's not like our material world in the earth. Baby takes birth 9 months, the mother has to take uh, have to wait, and after that the baby has come, she has to take care of the initial period. No, it is pain. Baby would cry, and it will go motion, and you have to clean up all those, changing the nappy, sleep when the baby sleeps, when get up when the babies get up, and so much process the mother has to go through, or the family has to suffer. But in in the Swargaloka, it is not like that. They take a birth, as soon as few minutes they grow into a youthful yavana. So there's mothers, there's no babysitting, there is no changing of nappy in Swargaloka. Very good, right? So then once they grow the young, then they don't get diseases or old age till the end of their age. Almost, they just die. They take birth, enjoy the entire life, and they just dwindle at the end. In between, not many of sufferings, of not many of diseases and things like that. And they also have unrestricted limitations. Unrestricted can have union with the other opposite sex. They will not have a babies. So unless they wanted the babies, the baby would not come. And it is not at the physical level. Some of the enjoyments at the very mental level also, they get this much more pleasure in the mental level union as well. So it's very complicated to understand even the opulences of available in this Indraloka and things like that. That's why many people, when you see that, you've been tempted, because all the karma is just vanished by chanting one Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Bhakti is so powerful. Bhakti is so powerful. It can, just eradicate everything. And but this kind of demigods, they want to have enjoyment. They will have complete opulence, but they don't want to give up their sense gratification. But at the same time, they're all worshipper of Krishna, because their firm faith, always Krishna will protect. Every time there is a problem, they'll go to they go to Brahma, and Brahma, along with all the devatas, goes to the milk ocean, which is there in Dhruva planet. There is a Paramatma as a it's Paramatma who is sitting there. Then they would recite the Purusha Shukta, and then Lord give audience to either Brahma, or he would communicate through Brahma to the other demigods what will happen. So that they will respectively solve their problems. So, but they don't want to give up their material sense gratifications. Now, this is one category of people. The second category of people, Prabhupada exactly talks about the pure Vaishnavas, who is not desire of any material enjoyment. They are not averse to it, material enjoyment, but if it is required for the service, they do it. But they will dovetail their desires with the desires of the Lord. They transform their desires. It's not that they curtail their desires, but if anything I would like to eat, I'll offer and eat. If anything I would read, then I would read Bhagavatam rather than reading some mundane things. Anything I want to association, I want to have material sense enjoyment and singing, going to that. I would go with the devotee, sing bhajans. We dovetail the hankering, whatever desires for the Lord's performance, but not really requiring for the material enjoyment. Whereas the devatas, they are very clear. I need my sense gratification, right? There are so many various means to drink somarasa. There are so many Ramba, Urushi, Manaka, celestial beings. They can dance all the time, partying, right? You have so much varieties of food, nice gardens, beautiful gardens, Nandanandana gardens. What else required? The complete package of sense gratification is available. It's very, very difficult. That's why most of the time the devotees, the demigods, they wanted to take birth here. They can go from there, but they want to come here because so much gratification. It's very difficult to practice bhakti, and they all see these human beings. They come and take birth. They're listening to 3 Bhagavatam classes, Bhagavata Sapta. They're all going back with 400 form in the same day. So it's puzzling to the demigods as well. Sometimes they would see. So like that, the pure devotees Prabhupada is talking about, and he is giving an example of Arjuna. Arjuna had his own sense gratification, saying, "How do I kill my relatives?" But Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. After that, he said, "Oh Krishna, whatever you say, I will do it." Then he uh, took the good counsel of Krishna. Then he did the transcendental loving service. So Lord is dissatisfied with, even though they are devotees, demigods, he's little dissatisfied because his objective is that everybody who needs to go back to home Godhead. But this demigods, there are chances that they are so much engrossed in the sense gratification, they will fall down, but they will not elevate from their demigod planets to the other planets or to Goloka Vrindavan, which is very rare. So that's why he's dissatisfied. Whereas the devotees who are dovetailing to Krishna consciousness, they can go back to Godhead. Now, Prabhupada comes into third category, who are the non-devotees. Unlike the demigods, nor like a pure devotees, they don't worship the Lord. They're averse to relationship. They don't want to. This atheist who doesn't believe in the Lord, they would revolted against the Lord and must perpetually undergo reaction of their own activities because they keep on doing karma. Punarapi maranam, punarapi janari satare senam. They are bound in the action of reactions of chains of reaction and action, reaction, action. Eternally they will live here. So one sense, when the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita talked about it, only karma is temporary. Other things, Prakriti is also eternal. One might say how Prakriti can be eternal. So the devotees, everybody goes back, what will happen? So there are some perpetual, offenders who perpetually will be there all the time. Till the Prithvi is there, then these guys will be here only. They will never get out of this because so much envy and so much revolt against the Lord, they're entangled in the cycles of karma. So they never get out of the cycle. They take birth again, they die again. When the Vishnu creates, again they would create it, then they would die again, they would perpetually put in the hell. That's why this Prakriti also, Jiva also, certain things eternal. When we say, one sense they are eternally suffering here. So now what is the solution? Why the Lord is not delivering? He's so compassionate. He must deliver devotees or non-devotees. Doesn't matter why they are not doing it. That's a question we have discussed. And Prabhupada is also trying to answer. So Prabhupada says, it is just yetamam prapadande. According to your desire, Krishna will fulfill. He will not force. Number one. So if somebody is nishkama karma, the demigods so called sakama devotees, and the devotees, pure Vaishnavas, are called nishkama devotees. They don't have any interest, but the sakama devotees, they want to hold something and they want to still do it. Krishna will fulfill. So the Lord is unmindful of the devotees. This is impartial. How can the Lord be sitting in Paramatma be impartial? But still he gives a chance to revive his mercy through his pure devotees. He sends pure devotees, missionary activities. He says even non-devotees can become devotees if they listen to. But most of the time, though, they didn't. So Prabhupada again reconfirms, gives his signature, saying, see, what is the question? How the non-devotees, why they are not motivated to become devotees? Is it not Krishna is impartial? He should suppose motivate. He isn't sitting as Paramatma. What is the big difficulties to motivate some person to surrender like that, right? There are some stubborn devotees, like a barren land or alkaline field. Prabhupada says you can't grow anything on the alkaline field or barren land, it never grows anything. Similarly, they misuse the minute independence, and Krishna never forced because he's also independent. So non-devotees commit offenses after offenses to the both Lord and his pure devotees. So the first offenses, right? One who is propagating the propagating the holy name of the Lord, who are dedicated to propagating the holy name of the Lord, Vaishnava aparad. So when they do it aparad, that's why sins you can overcome, but aparad is very, very grievous problem. Devotees who claims to be a Vaishnava, they need to guard against all these 10 offenses. This we repeatedly hear every day. We chant before we remember these offenses, because since you might slow progress in the Krishna consciousness, but when you do aparad, it reverses. Most of the time you fall down from the existing level, even though sometimes Krishna says what is that shloka in Bhagavad Gita? He says Swalpamasya dharmasya trayatama, there is no loss, you will take birth again. Even in that also there is a variation. Even if you do start doing offenses, there is high chances that you will also fall back into different species of life. And because it is such a grave offense is very severe, and it is detrimental to our bhakti, we should be very, very careful with these offenses, or they will, in case a person is in prema stage, bhava stage, he might come back to some lower stage. Like that, there are a lot of chances are there, because this takes you to the backwards offenses. So because they commit perpetually their offenses, Vaishnava Aparad especially, they will never get a chance to become a devotees. That's the reason he says it's just because Vaishnava Aparad and other Aparad, the non-devotees are never become. So even though Duryodhana saw Krishna's multiple times, his family member is seeing face to face. What a fortune he had, right? So many people saw Krishna's face to face, but he did not get transformed because he was offending the Pandavas, who are the pure Vaishnavas. He's been repeatedly offending, so that's why he got his end. But how fortunate when as soon as see Krishna, then they will be all purified. What else is there? If you're able to see Krishna, all your previous karmas are everything gone. But Krishna never takes off the offenses. Offenses will remain with us. That's why it is very important, these 10 offenses that one should avoid, and repeatedly, all the acharyas insist. So Duryodhana, only one offense he did, Vaishnava Aparad. Nothing else he did. He saw his end. So similarly, right? So I just put that in the quick tabular form in order to grasp the essence of this shloka. So Sakama devotees are called one who is still desire but worships the Lord. Nishkama means there is no desire. Then the non-devotees, there are 3 categories. Sakama devotees, they will have always worship the lordships very nicely with all the paraphernalia. Nishkama devotees is try to avoid. Sometimes they are also indulge in sense gratification, but this without out of control, or they're trying to become pure devotees. So in that process, they might do that, but in general, they devatile their material hankering towards Krishna. They don't want to retain at least. Maybe uncontrollably, they might engage in some of the sense gratification, but the new core of the heart that one day I need to come out of it. That is Nishkama devotees. Non-devotees, just forget it, no Lord. Then the Sakama devotees trying to be devotee at the same time, sense gratification they want to do. So it doesn't go well. So the Lord is never happy, because he knew that after his punya karma is over, after his pious activities of Indra, Chandra, whatever post is there, he will take birth again into the very good Brahmana family or a wealthy family. Again, he has to go through the process. Once anybody is qualified, anybody just 100 Ashwamedha Yagya, they can become Indra. 100 lifetime followed proper Varnashrama Dharmam, he can become Brahma. So these are some qualification for some of the post, how you can become. So whoever does that, they'll get qualified. So Krishna is not happy becoming Indra and again and again. He wants to see all you in back home, back to Godhead. So then the Arjuna fight Prabhupada talked about. Then the non-devotees averse of transcendental relation perpetually undergo reactions. Sakama devotees are self-interested. They have the self-motive. The Parijata tree example. Krishna did so much. Immediately after he asked for Parijata tree, and he started fighting with them. So, but Nishkama devotees are who, with expectation, they take so much austerity, like Srila Prabhupada, to spread this mission of Krishna consciousness. So always with people, but not your mind. It doesn't bother.
Prabhuji, your voice is breaking, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I will try, Mataji, because my network is up and means there is ups and downs. I really don't know what else I can do. I don't have another
Prabhuji, you can
network.
switch
My
off
mobile
your
network.
video and
Yeah,
then
switch off your video, Prabhuji.
we can
Good
pray.
suggestion. Yes. So I've been surrounded by the very good, intelligent people. Thank you. So the Lord is sitting in everybody's heart, and He gives a chance. You can never say Krishna is partial. It's just like a sunlight. Sunlight is common to all or not, but a blind person cannot see. If you close your eyes, you say there is no sunlight, it's your problem. It's not sun's problem. Krishna is available equally to everyone. It's a devotee or non-devotee. Like somebody gave an example of chocolate. So chocolate available, Krishna is available to everyone. But somebody closes his eyes and says, I'm not seeing sun. There is no sunshine. Sunshine is out there. Sun is there out. You close your eyes, nobody can do anything about it. You can still say, yeah, there is no sun, no God. So that's how happens with when you say Lord is not partial, is equally available. When you say it's partial, it's not that Krishna is of course oriented towards devotees, but he says that it's just like a blind person is closing his eyes and says there is no sun. Similarly, this non-devotees, even the Lord gives opportunity equally to everyone. He gives the opportunity for everyone equally. In the class, teacher teaches to one same teaching, but there are many kids, they take different grades in the subjects because somebody is attentive while listening to the teacher, somebody is intelligent, somebody makes the effort at home to write the homework, things like that. So he was given equal opportunity. It is not that teacher is partial to the brilliant student. Of course, they will have affection for them. They might give them extra assignment, or they might make them study for some competitive exam, make them successful if you are able to do. That is there. But equally they teach everything. When people are able to grasp, then they accordingly they will teach them. So that's what happens with the non-devotees. So Prabhupada confirms that. So let us move on to the next sloka. So we will read this next two slokas together, translation and purport. Then we will try to see how much our time left. I will try to cover the supremacy of bhakti. It's already 10:12. So please let us complete the Prabhupada purport. Can somebody volunteer to read 13, 14, 15? I need 3 or 4 volunteers. Quickly read one person shloka, one person translation, one person purport. So 6 people I need.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, Sudhama.
पुंसाम् अतो विविधकर्मभिः अवराध्रे अध्वराधे ध्यानेन चोग्रतपसा परिचर्यया च आराधनं भगवतस्तव सत्क्रियार्थो धर्मो अर्पितकर्हिचित् न यत्र. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Sindhu Mataji, you can read the translation, Mataji.
Yes, ma'am. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But the pious activities of the people, such as performance of Vedic rituals, charity, austere penances, and transcendental service, performed with a view to worship you and satisfy you by offering you the fruitive results, are also beneficial. Such acts of religion never go in vain.
Hare Krishna. Divya Mataji, you can read the purport, Mataji.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Absolute devotional service conducted in 9 different spiritual activities, hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, praying, etc., does not always appeal to people with a pompous nature. They are more attracted by the Vedic superficial rituals and other costly performances of social religious shows. But the process, according to the Vedic injunctions, is that the fruits of all pious activities should be offered to the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 9.27, the Lord demands that whatever one may do in one's daily activities, such as worship, sacrifice, and offering charities, all the results should be offered to Him only. This offering on the result of pious acts unto the Supreme Lord is a sign of devotional service to the Lord and is of permanent value, whereas enjoying the same results for oneself is only temporary. In anything done on account of the Lord is permanent asset and accumulates in the form of unseen piety for gradual promotion to the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord. These undetected pious activities will one day result in full-fledged devotional service by the grace of Supreme Lord. Therefore, any pious acts done on account of the Supreme Lord is also recommended here for those who are not pure devotees. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare
So
Krishna.
Krishna
Next
says,
slok.
okay, you're still Sakama devotees like demigods worship, no problem. Still, gradually they will get purification and they come to the absolute devotion service of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Achanam, Atma Nivedanam. So that's 9 devotion service what one's supposed to follow. But still, somebody is still okay. I want to do particular yajna and offer the results to the Lord. Still, that is welcome because gradually they will get elevated to the pure devotee level. So Krishna says that that's also okay. Still better than becoming non-devotee. These are okay. He's telling that. Okay, next one.
Hare
May I
Krishna.
read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Meenakshi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. शाश्वतस्वरूपमहसैव निपिक्तभेद मोहाय भूतधिषणाय नमः परस्मै विश्वोद्भव स्थितिलयेषु निमित्तलीला रासाय ते नम इदं चक्रमेश्वराय. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Sunita Mataji can read the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let me offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Transcendence, who is eternally distinguished by his internal potency. His indistinguishable impersonal feature is realized by intelligence for self-realization. I offer my obeisances unto him, who by his pastimes enjoys the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. Hare Krishna.
Purport, may I read the purport? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Yes,
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Lord is eternally distinguished from the living entities by his eternal potency, although he is also understood in his impersonal features by self-realized intelligence. Devotees of the Lord, therefore, offer all respectful obeisance unto the impersonal feature of the Lord. The word rasa is significant herein. The rasa dance is, rasa. The rasa dance is performed by Lord Krishna in the company of the cowherd damsels at Vrindavana, and the personality of Godhead, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, is also engaged in rasa enjoyment with his external potency, by which he creates, maintains, and dissolves the entire material manifestations. Indirectly, Lord Brahma offers his respectful obeisance unto Lord Sri Krishna, who is factually ever engaged in rasa enjoyment with the gopis, as confirmed in the Gopala Tapani Upanishad in the following words. Parardhante so buddhi yata gopavesha me purushah purushasthad avirbhuva. The distinction between the Lord and the living entity is definitely experienced when there is sufficient intelligence to understand his internal potency as distinguished from the external potency by which he makes possible material manifestations. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
So Prabhupada again continues in this Brahma that, non-devotees, at least let them offer whatever they have. But here again, Prabhupada insisting that the pure devotees always sees there are some other devotees, they will impersonal feature, they worship the impersonal feature, but Prabhupada again confirms the pure Vaishnava. They worship the Bhagavan feature because only Bhagavan can do rasa dance. So that's why this rasa dance here. Again, Prabhupada brought this point just to let them know that Bhagavan is a person who also does the rasa dance, but otherwise people are, they worship the impersonal feature of the aspect. So again, let us dwell whatever time available to see some of the glories of bhakti Why pure devotional service we are taking it? This I'm taking it from His Holiness Bhanu Maharaj seminars on Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's festival, which happens in Chennai every year. So some of the slides are directly from Maharaj's slide. So Bhakti is independent. Bhakti appears by Krishna's will, just as the avatars appear in the Lord's will by His absolute mercy. But it falls upon His devotees, for the Lord is partial to the devotees. So here again, the Lord is partial, Bhakti is partial. Bhakti is independent. You can't say, okay, Bhakti, tomorrow you go to their particular house, a particular person should get mercy. That Krishna is, how he appears is independent. Bhakti is also independent. She can show mercy to whoever she wants. But when there are people who are favorite to the Lord, they want to serve the Lord, then definitely Bhakti is partial to the devotees as well. Similarly, the devotee Madhyama Bhakta gives out the Lord's mercy by his will. So again, Bhakti Bhakta is independent. Like Prabhupada, he has to give some mercy to somebody. There is no costless, that's because costless. There is no reason. You can't explain, oh, this person has done a lot of pious activity. He has done such a Sukruti. No, some devotees just get it. Why? There is no reason. Because the Bhakti is at his will. So you can't say why is sweet will is happening of Madhyatmakari, why is giving Madhyamadhikari is giving Bhakti is partial, but is partial to the favorable people also. If somebody is trying to help him, serve him in the mission, obviously he would show extra mercy to those devotees to get the Bhakti, right? So Bhakta, pure Bhakti, everybody is including the Lord, it is independent. When they will come, whom will they get Bhakti? It is, we don't know, but they are favorable to the devotees who are practicing Bhakti and agrees Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and Lord, the interesting aspect is the Lord gives the devotee power to distribute the mercy independent of the Lord. Lord will not come between a Bhakta and Lord. The Lord and the Bhakta. Bhakta is independent to distribute Bhakti. Once he makes me Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari, then he says, pure Vaishnava, you are free, independent to whom you want to give. If tomorrow Prabhupada says is given costless mercy to Gaurachandra Gopinath, then Krishna will accept it because Prabhupada is told like that. So whenever there's a pure Vaishnava recommends, oh, such a devotee does nice thing, even Radharani recommends, then Krishna will accept. Because Krishna is given independently. Yes, I'm given this commodity called Bhakti. You can give it to whomever you want. I will accept that devotee. Is irrespective of is qualified or not qualified. Whatever condition, I will accept it. So Krishna gives that freedom to Uttamadhikari, a pure Vaishnava. That's the reason the Bhakti can come only from a Bhakta. It's very, very important to hear Srila Prabhupada lectures, pure Gurus, Vaishnavas lectures, your initiated Gurus lecture. Otherwise, guaranteed that you will not get Bhakti. 200%. You might read so much thing, but if you are not in association with Prabhupada books, you are not in association with Prabhupada Vani, you are not in association with the pure Vaishnava, you are initiating disciple or Siksha Guru, pure Vaishnava, and 200% Bhakti will not get, because Krishna outsourced this activity to pure devotees. Unless pure devotee gives his costless mercy, the Bhakti is ruled out. And moreover, there is no rules and regulation. You can't just say, if I do this vrata, this I do, I get Bhakti. No, it is not guaranteed, because Bhakti is independent. Now, so now this demigods, they do a lot of charity and things like that. So Krishna says, but I cannot be attained by intense efforts of yoga, sankhya, charity, vows, austerity, sacrifices. So study of the Vedas, sannyasa, even you might take sannyas, no problem. 11.12.9. I'm not bought for all these things. You can do whatever you want, but I'm not that interested. But if anybody does pure bhakti, then Krishna is very much pleased, and he sends the Guru, Brahmande Brahmite Kaun Bhakyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Paya Bhakti Lada Pija. So he would send a Guru, then Guru would recommend to Krishna, then Krishna would accept, okay, this person is pure Vaishnava is recommended, let me give bhakti. Then the big bhakti comes, and now one gets progress into Krishna consciousness. And this bhakti can be other process also can be defined into various categories. Now, one is karma mishra bhakti, Bhakti Mishra Karma. What is the difference? How many of you understand this term? Karma Mishra Bhakti? Bhakti Mishra Karma.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Karma Mishra Bhakti is the devotion that a karmi does, and Bhakti Mishra Karma is the karmic the results that a devotee expects.
The other way around. What you say is other way around.
Okay.
So even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's followers, many of them are Karma Mishra Bhaktis. In the sense, we also do karma. Do you do only pure devotional service? You also work. You also go and do some activity, household activity. You also take care of your children. You also go to market. You also shop, right? Of course, you're telling that you want to protect your children. You're doing it, but direct devotional service, you're not at 24/7 hearing, chanting, reading Shrimad Bhagavatam, no, right? So there also we do also some little bit of karma also. We also get jnana about who is Guru, what is Bhagavatam. Without jnana, can you say I can practice bhakti? No, you need to have little bit knowledge as to differentiate who is Guru, who is coming in parampara. We also get jnana. So it is not that see, when the shloka says anyabhilat shunyam, the desires are shunya, but jnana karma anavritam means he never says shunya, he never says jnana and karma are shunya. The definition doesn't talk about that. It talks about annabhilashta shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulena krishnanu bhakti uttama. So in the definition of bhakti, definitely your desires needs to be null, zero. But it says, it never said shunyam of karma and jnana. So you need whatever it is favorable to perform devotion service. Then we take that karma. So this karma is required for me to maintain my activity so that I can chant, purify myself. I need to perform this household duty slowly to come to the platform because still I'm attached to my material desire. But I want to dovetail. So you need to have this probation period or the training period where you have to go through that and you come out of this material desire. It will not go out immediately. So the material desire is there, you try to dovetail to Krishna and try to purify yourself. So it takes some time. So that during that period of time, you can't say I'm doing pure devotion service. You do some sort of karma and jnana. So that's called karma mishra bhakti. Bhakti is mixed with little bit of tingent of bhakti and jnana, sorry, karma and jnana, which are favorable. There are certain things which are not favorable. We don't do it. Like, the lot of real process of worship, doing that yajna, that homa, do that vrata, this vrata, we don't follow, even though it is given in the injection of karma kanda, that may not be favorable directly to progress in devotion service. So we don't do that. So that way we also distinguish what is good karma, what is good jnana, then we try to adopt it while performing, trying to learn bhakti. So there is karma mishra bhakti. What is bhakti mishra karma? Non-devotee who is performing karma kanda is trying to do little bit of bhakti. Because I tell you, the process on its own doesn't give anything. For example, if somebody is following karma yoga, he will not go anywhere. That is not even called yoga. It's just a karma. He will get into the material life and cycle. But suppose somebody is doing properly karma yoga, is supposed to go to Swargaloka. No, you'll never go to Swargaloka unless he does a little bit of bhakti yoga. That is called bhakti mishra karma. When a non-devotee performs little bit aspect of bhakti, then only he'll get Swargaloka. Even in order to go to Swargaloka, a karma kandis cannot go directly. Otherwise, it's just a material aspect. Karma is unless the bhakti is mixed, it is not it is not even what is a transcendental. It is just a material activity. You do something, you get some reaction. That's it. Even also person who is doing karma yoga without the devotion, little bit of pure bhakti, he can't even attain Swargaloka. Similarly, jnana yoga, similarly Ashtanga yoga, little bit of bhakti mishra yoga, bhakti mishra jnana, it's not there. Even the karma is not going to achieve anything. But bhakti is independent. It can give Swarga Loka, it can give liberation. Jnana is trying to go to liberation, which is Saija Mukti, which is merging into the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. They even cannot do that unless they do a little bit of bhakti. Independent Jnana Yoga on its own does not going to give anything. They will never go anywhere. Ashtanga Siddhi on its own never will give anything. They will not realize Paramatma aspect. For that also they would have bhakti aspect, a little bit of bhakti aspect is required. But bhakti is independent. You don't need to follow karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga. it on its own it can give, but devotees don't aspire for that. How much time I have still? Okay, 10:29. This slok I'll stop here. Everything that can be achieved by karma, penances, jnana, vairagya, mystic yogi, charity, dharma, and all other auspicious means of perfecting life is easily achieved by my devotees through bhakti. If somehow or other my devotees desire svarga, liberation, or residence in my abode, he easily achieves such benedictions. Shrimad Bhagavatam 11, 20, 32, and 33. Again, Krishna says, you don't need to perform all this karma, jnana, ashtanga yoga. My bhaktas and you by default, you'll get it. You don't need to worry about it. So Krishna is promising again and again and again. So bhakti is independent of other factors. It does not depend on the birth, gunas. You are in mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. One is any state of mind. You're not in the purified state. Any places you can perform. Bhakti is independent of other factors. But if you want to do jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, you need to take bath. Then you want to sit in the oven. You need to take bath and purify yourself and arrange all the things. Then you have to do yajna or homa, whatever it is. If you want to perform jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, you need to do in particular type, particular place, particular posture. You can't just do anything I wish I can do. But bhakti, unknowingly, Ajamila, even you call Narayana, it doesn't matter. Bhakti is independent. It doesn't depend on time, place, circumstances. It can reveal. At the same time, bhakti can also unreveal or unmanifest to a devotees, because what happens is, if this karma yoga devotees come to know that bhakti can offer all those things, then they will start misusing the bhakti. So bhakti most of the time withholds. In the case of Ajamila, nobody would have expected that simply by calling Narayana as son name, he gets the liberation, that nobody, it can wash all away all these sins. Nobody is expected. It was bewildering. And Yamadharma Raja bewildered. Everybody's got bewildered seeing such a pastime. Parshit Maharaj is asking, how is that possible? Like that. So when we see that, sometimes bhakti would withhold the effects of the bhakti itself, because the so-called karmi or jnana yogis can misuse bhakti, and they need little portion of bhakti yoga to achieve whatever even bhakti karma yoga results you won't achieve. They need bhakti. So this bhakti is independent. That's why it can withhold sometime. Sometime it can, for Ajamala, it can full-fledged manifested. Bhakti is fully potent, but sometimes it has to hide itself, because it maybe the people can misuse bhakti, misunderstand bhakti. So there's no condition attached to it. Bhakti, it's so pure that, it doesn't matter who does it. But karma, jnana, ashtanga yoga, you have some criteria. You need to be in mode of goodness. Somebody who can, Brahmana, Kshatriya can read Vedas, not Shudras, and other people cannot read Vedas. There's so many restriction, rules, and regulations. But bhakti, there's no rules and regulation. Where is bhakti? Ajamila, what rules he has followed? He got it. So sometimes the bhakti has to hide herself. Bhakti is not dependent upon faith. Even faith, which Adho Shraddha, Vajana Kriya, Prabhu, without faith, how can you get one bhakti? Here, bhakti is not dependent on even faith. Ajamila, what faith he had? Name of Krishna, when chanted even once, either with faith or without faith, can deliver any man. There's no faith. Ajamila did not have any faith. He didn't know. And he got delivered. Such a potency is that. So I would stop here, and we can go on and on. But in summary, probably I'd like to show what I covered. We talked about various kind of devotees. One is Sakama Karma Yogis or Nishkama Karma Yogis, Sakama Bhaktas, Nishkama Bhaktas. Then the pure Bhakta happens. This is the progressive yoga ladder in the middle. People can be animalistic life, then they try to follow Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda alone it will not give any results. You want to go to Sakama Karma means still I'm holding my material desires. I want to become a devotee. That's where they go to Swargaloka. They perform little bit of bhakti, which is Bhakti Mishra Karma. Then it becomes Sakama Karma Yoga. There are some devotees, they want to do as a duty, Nishkama Karma Yoga. I don't expect, but I'll do. My sadhana I'm supposed to do, I will do it. Then at this level, then they progress to Prema Bhakti, which is Bhava Bhakti. Then they achieve Krishna. So the Bhakti Yoga ladder is so fast that you don't need to go to all these various levels. You just perform Bhakti, do sadhana, you get directly Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti directly. You can go from animal's life to elevator like that. So there are a lot of, you want to further read this? I would suggest to read Bhagavad Gita 2nd, 4th chapters. This is the second chapter. It talks about Karma Kanda and Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga and Buddhi Yoga. What is the difference? And this chapter 5 talks about Jnana Yoga and Bhakti. And the chapter Ashtanga Yoga and Hatha Yoga, differences there between chapter 4, many of 5, 6, and there are places. There are empty number. I'm just showing a sample. So when you read this 4, 5, 6 chapters, Prabhupada writes volume of difference between why Bhakti is supreme. I would stop here. Thank you very much. Any corrections you can ask, otherwise it's time already.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. I'm sorry, Mataji.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for explaining us the aspects of bhakti through these 3 shlokas. Suma Mataji, you have a question, right? You may go ahead, please.
Prabhuji, Bhakti Mishra Karma, when you said, Prabhuji, like, is it like giving any sukruti for the non-devotees, Prabhuji? Like making them hear Hari Kirtan or making them chant Hare Krishna?
Sukruti is not pious activity. Not all pious activities are sukruti, which will give a bhakti. Anything related to bhakti, Krishna, then it is sukruti, ajnana sukruti, that will work. Let's say somebody is indiscriminately opening a old age house and serving. He will not become a devotee. That's not sukruti. Not that because of that sukruti, he would come back to Krishna consciousness. I'm talking about even sukruti also 2 categories. The one which is related to bhakti, Krishna, Bhagavan, then there is chances that he'll become a devotee. Let's say some devotees, when he old age house he gave for one day for conducting program, then he gets that ajnana sukruti. Because of that, he will become a devotee. Otherwise, generally doing karma kanda activities, I'm performing so much austerity, I'm giving so much charity, they will not become a devotee. They will not become a devotee unless it is related to the devotee. Something they would have done. They have seen Harinam Sankirtan. Anything related to Bhakti, Bhagavan, Bhakta, that Ajnana Sukruti is what will counted in the Adoshrada, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti stage. That cause will give them the Bhakti. And again, Bhakti is independent. There's no cause, even faith is not required. But because Bhakti is potential, but most of the time you need a little bit Shraddha. Because of this Ajnana Sukriti with related to the devotees, then you get little bit Shraddha. Then Bhakti comes, then you do Bhajana Kriya along with the Vaishnavas, then you do Anartha Nivritti, then you progress.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Chitra Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for that wonderful class, Prabhuji. I have a very small doubt. Actually, since there is no Jara and Vyadi, that is only birth and death in Devaloka, right, Prabhuji? So what decides their longevity? When do they come back, or when does their death occur? Since they don't grow older. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Don't worry, we are not going there only. It's out of syllabus for us. Even we want to know why we want to know. You tell me what will help, how will it help. I explained you. That's the reason I was afraid to explain that. So people might think, oh, this might be a good idea to go there. It's a very bad idea. We don't want to go anywhere. Why you want to know about it? Let's leave it. Let's go back. Ask more questions about Goloka. That may be beneficial.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
As simple as that, we can't understand. And we don't want to understand also. And I don't know also. If I become demigod, I'll let you know.
Any other question? Okay, Prabhu. So we'll end here. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your time. Vancha kalpatarupyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaः.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you.
Mataji, one small request, Mataji. If
Thank you
possible,
so much, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Shrimadaji, you are saying something.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, I would request Prabhu to share his PPT if it's possible, Mataji, because it's like very much in detail. I think we'll have to read it over and over again so that we understand.
Prabhu has just left. Okay, I will ask.
Mataji.
Okay, I will ask.
Okay, Mataji. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
He will send it to me and I will send it in the...
Okay, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.